I'm Alexis, I'm an addict. Thanks for taking the meeting, Arabella, and inviting me to do the chair, Raf. I'm glad I'm here today. It's a weird one because I'm kind of in quite a bit of pain at the moment, and it's good to be of service, and also doing a step share is a bit more. I just find them a little bit more challenging to try and tailor the share to the step. I was travelling back from my parents today. I went up for 2 nights. It was part see the family, but also work. I was in a studio. I'm a musician. I was in a studio yesterday in Nottingham, so it was good. It was fun, and I planned to read the step 12 when I got back, but I was just shattered and I just ran out of time, and then came straight out to the meeting. Yeah, and just kind of quickly before I get into the main share, just a couple of days ago, somebody I've been seeing for a while cut me off very abruptly, and woman I've been seeing, and it was just, it was very, very painful and out of the blue, I don't really want to go into too many more details, just, I'm hurting basically, so that's what it is. But yeah, I've been clean for 15 and a half years now. Thank you. I have been through the steps a few times. So I've done step 12 formally a couple of times, and I sort of think, when step 12, when I hear step 12, the first thing that comes to my mind, it's the one about carrying a message to the addict, but it's also, and practicing all these principles and, all our affairs. So actually, really, it's just like the all-encompassing one, the one at the end, everything that I've learned through the steps, being clean, coming to meetings, sharing, processing my stuff. I suppose for me that's what step 12 is really about. I also think as well, the service aspect, yes, there's specific ways to do service. So I always try and make sure I have a service position at group level. I've maintained that since I got clean. I was clean before. I was nearly 6 years clean in 2007, but I relapsed and had horrific few years of relapse. But since I came back, I've always maintained one, at least one, sometimes 2, but I've got one service position at group level at the moment. I sponsor a few people. I do shares when I'm asked. Put money in the pot. So and there's lots of ways to do service and give back in NA, and it's great. But I also think that it's kind of automatic as well. So just rocking up to a meeting, being present at a meeting is a form of service, and opening your mouth in a meeting is a form of service. Even calling somebody or taking a call is a form of service. I know when people reach out to me, how much I benefit from that. Obviously, I'm big on picking up the phone. It's I reach out a lot, and what I've cultivated now as well is outside. I've got my sponsor who I maybe touch base with. Depends what's going on. I've been reaching out a little bit more to him recently, but maybe usually once a fortnight on average. But outside of that, I've got a circle of guys that I talk to quite regularly, and most of those friendships, they're really good friendships now, it's a two-way street. So I will typically, if I reach out, I'll share my stuff, get some feedback, get heard, and then I'll be, and how are you? And give them the space to share, and I always do that, and vice versa. So, and some of these people have less clean time. It's not about the clean time for me at all. It's just, do I connect with this person? Do I identify around things? And do I feel supported? And so I'm always open to helping people. So the step 12. I do feel a bit. I think this NA, this machine is very. I do think it's kind of automatically two-way. I really believe in that. I know how much I get from somebody who's struggling, and that might not necessarily be a newcomer, but obviously I get a lot from somebody sharing from the floor who's trying to get clean or stay clean, or they're just coming in through the doors. I'll get just as much from them as an old timer or someone in the middle. I love it when people just share their stuff. I really look forward to the shares back afterwards. And I love to hear people get current, and I'm really big on that as well. This is why I say as well, it's challenging trying to keep this on step 12, because when I open my mouth in a meeting, even just from the floor, I do like to get current, because that has served me from the beginning. And what I mean is, just sharing exactly where I'm at, whatever that might be. When I was coming back off my relapses, I would be coming back into the room and just sharing about that. I've just relapsed again. It's horrific. I'm in agony. I'm withdrawing off heroin, and I don't want to go back, out to the nightmare. I might not share about the drugs so much these days when I share from the floor, because it's just other stuff like what I'm going through at the moment that's really painful. But it all, you know, if I follow the trail back, it goes back to the beginning is so that I don't pick up. Like that's the backdrop. Even if I don't say it, I'm sharing to protect myself. And I just like going back to this thing of, for me, step 12 being automatic on this, you know, is that I believe when people are doing that, they're doing it to help themselves, but at the same time, they're helping other people. So I just love that, the way this works organically, automatically like that. I think so much of it is a two-way street. You know, how much do I enjoy service? There's the question that came into my mind. I've done GSR once, and I do find that one hard. I haven't done that one this time round, I'll be really honest. I've done literature, secretary quite a few times, newcomer rep. I'm doing literature at the moment, men's meeting in Stratford, I enjoy that. I enjoy sponsoring people. That you know, I've learnt a lot through sponsoring people. Again, that's the kind of a balancing act as well. And what's really interesting about that is the sponsees that I've had along the way have been all totally different. And it's really, you know, I don't know, I heard this might be, people might disagree with what I'm about to say, but my sponsor's sponsor, so my great-grand sponsor is in America, and I've heard my sponsor say this, he says, you know, about this fellow, he says, if you're asked, you know, to sponsor, if somebody asks you to sponsor them, you say yes. So this guy just says yes if he's asked. And he's got like 30 something sponsees, you know. And I don't know, you know, some of them in other countries, and he has to like take calls at 3 and 4 in the morning. I'm just being honest, I would find that really hard. I feel like I have because I want to be able to give quality, you know, and it's you know, I have 4 at the moment, and you know, I want to be able to give them that quality time and book them in when they want to do step work. And I just feel, you know, at the moment with everything I've got going on, I would struggle to take on anybody else. So, you know, if people might disagree with that, but I just, you know, I don't know how, you know, it's, again, you know, with the service thing, like, it's really good to do service. I do agree with having at least one, you know, position at committee, you know, group level on a committee, and sponsoring a few people, and, you know, but we all lean towards different types of service, don't we? We're not all exactly the same, and I'm really big on like being on the phone and, you know, one-to-one. I'm really big on that, and I enjoy that. So I don't know. I don't think it's because, you know, there is something that's over-giving. You know, you've got to have something left for yourself. That's really important. And you know, that would tie into the second part, wouldn't it? About principles in all our affairs. You know, self-love. That's like you know, that's why we're here, isn't it? To love ourselves and look after ourselves. So you know, self-love is kind of giving, but, you know, looking after yourself, self-care, and there's a balance there. And, you know, and even balance is something that tips, I find. It's like balance just doesn't stay like that. It's like a seesaw. So it depends what's going on in life. And the way I'm feeling at the moment with the thing that I divulged, I've had to lean on other people a lot recently, calling people, like one friend I called him twice today, because I'm just needing to share how I'm feeling, because I'm really, like, I'm in a bit of shock, I'm hurting, I'm sad. There's definitely some resentment in there as well, and I just, you know, and I don't want it to take me off somewhere I don't want to go. For me now, it wouldn't immediately be the drugs, but it would be another manifestation, and I just don't want to activate my addiction in any way. So I'm really grateful that you booked me in for the share. It's really timely. Like, I was thinking, oh my God, I'm tired, I'm travelling back. I'm doing another share tomorrow as well. And they come like buses as well, it's mad. I'm doing 4 in the space of about 10 days, after, like, I don't know, a few months of not doing one. So I'm aware it's a big meeting. I'm not too sure if I'm gonna, how much time do I have left?
6 minutes.
6 minutes, oh. I feel guilty if I end short, but I feel like I'm drying up a bit. It's really hard to stay on, right, step shares are hard. Tradition shares are even harder. I did a tradition share once, and that was difficult. I think, thank God, it was only a 10-minute share. But yeah, look, I'm going to end with gratitude. I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful to be in NA. I'm grateful to be clean, the clean time I have. I knew Damien, I hope Damien doesn't mind me saying, I know Damien from when I was first around, and we used to go to quite a few of the same meetings, especially one. I think we even did service together at that meeting in Leytonstone. And as I left the meetings, I walked away when I got 2 years clean and got the black keyring. The relapse came later, 3.5 years later, but it was, so that was a really mad kind of time because I just gradually deteriorated in that 3.5 years. And eventually picked up, and then I had a horrendous 3 years of relapsing, and I was right back on the hard drugs, and it was ferocious, and created new bad consequences. So to come back from that, I'm super grateful. As I said earlier, the backdrop for me being here, even if I don't share about the drugs, the backdrop is always so that I don't go out there again. But I get so much more from this, so much more friends, just support around growth, healing, support around other manifestations of the disease. It's a no-brainer for me. Why wouldn't I keep turning back to this? Why wouldn't I keep coming to meetings? And I do a lot of meetings as well, and I'm fortunate because I'm a musician. I don't have a regular 9 to 5. I'm not married. I don't have children. I do have a lot of flexibility to get to a lot of meetings. So I do a lot of meetings, and as I said, it's a no-brainer for me to reach out to this, pick up the phone, lean into this, especially on a regular basis anyway, but especially when I've got painful things going on. So I'm really drawing up, Arabella. So I look forward to it. Gives more space for more people to share back, and I look forward to all the shares back. And I'll leave it there. Thank you.